This is a huge issue for national security because, number one, we don't have domain awareness, which is very problematic. Number two, we don't have domain superiority if we don't understand how different UAPs are flying, what technology they're using, what their mission is, what their purpose is. And at the base level, we have so many UAPs around our bases, around our military sites, around our nuclear sites, that it's deeply disturbing.
These UFOs, or these UAP, whatever you want to call them these days, they've been monitoring and observing our nuclear sites for years. Longer than I've been alive, longer than a lot of you all have been alive, and our government knows this, okay? So when it comes to these UFOs monitoring our nuclear sites, I have mixed feelings about it. Now, if it turns out that these UFOs are somehow technology from Russia or China, which I don't believe that's the case at all, but let's say that is the case, then yes, this is a huge cause for concern. If whatever these things are that are monitoring our nuclear bases, if these are some type of enemy technology, then yeah, that's a major cause for concern. But I don't believe it's enemy technology. And like I said, it's not like this is something that's just happening in the modern day. It's been going on for decades. And no, I don't think Russia or China had the technology to make this equipment, especially back then. Now, I mean, who knows? But I believe that most likely these are some type of objects. I don't even want to say from another world right now, because due to the recent UFO hearings and a lot of information that's poured out lately, it looks like whatever these things are may be from here. They're sharing Earth with us, living beneath our oceans, or something along those lines. Once again, that's not a personal theory of mine. This is information that is being released to Congress. You could choose to believe it or not. That's up to you. But whatever these things are, they've been observing our nuclear sites for a very long time. And I think if they wanted to do something bad, if they really wanted to pose a threat or something like that, they could have acted by now. It's of my opinion that they are actually trying to stop us from destroying ourselves. And maybe that sounds cliche, but let's be real. If they wanted to go blow up a nuclear reactor or cause some type of crazy glitch that would make us launch our nukes and launch our missiles, they probably could. They probably have that technology. But it seems as if they're choosing not to do that. So if anything, I think they're really here to interfere and to stop us from possibly destroying our entire planet with these weapons. And we know that there has been interference in the past with these nuclear sites. That's all information that's been discussed for years. But as you know, we had these congressional hearings a few days ago, and now, today, the director of the Pentagon's AARO, he testified. And he released a little bit of information. Now, this hearing today was disappointed comparing to the last one. And I don't know, it seems as if there's maybe a tug of war, and maybe it's all just performance art. But it seems as if they kind of want to release some information while at the same time they want to be tight-lipped about other information. It's kind of like they want to get this out there without showing us that they want to get this out there. It's kind of confusing, and you know what? I have a lot of questions, and we'll get to those in future videos. But for now, let's go ahead and roll this clip, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
The first one was brought to us by a law enforcement officer out west, where he observed a large orange orb floating several hundred feet above the ground a couple miles away. He went to investigate what was going on with that orb. And as he was pulling up to the location where he thought would be below the orb, about 40 to 60 meters away from some object, the area was well lit. He saw a blacker than black object. He said it was about the size of a Prius, 4 to 6 feet wide. And as he got 40 to 60 meters away from the object, it tilted up about 45 degrees, and then it shot up vertically. He says 10 to 100 times faster than any drone he's ever seen before. And it did that without making a sound as far as he could tell from inside of his vehicle. And just as it left his field of view through his windshield, then it emitted very bright red and blue lights that illuminated the inside of his vehicle as brightly as if someone had set off fireworks just outside of his vehicle or street flares. So that's anomalous because of the size of the vehicle with the great acceleration. And when he came back to investigate that area, he found no disturbance of the ground beneath it.
Now, as I was just saying before we rolled the clip, I have a lot of questions. And in many ways, it's like we go into these hearings looking for answers, but we wind up leaving with more questions. You know what I mean? Like, I'm hoping that these hearings will answer some of our questions, but we wind up leaving with even more questions than we had going into the hearings, right? But I think the number one question we should all have, listen, we can all question, where are these things from? You know, there's a lot of easy questions out there. The main thing that we should be asking is why now? Forget all of the details about the UFOs and the UAPs. I know all of that stuff is interesting, trust me. I've been waiting my whole life for stuff like this to be discussed. And it feels good that it's being discussed now, but at the same time, why now? Why now? There's a reason. I can't tell you the reason because I don't know the reason. And I know I'll have comments in my comment section talking about Project Bluebeam and all of that other stuff. Listen, I'm up on game on all of that. I get it. We've discussed that on my channel plenty of times. But when looking at all of the information coming out, it's not like all of these people decided, hey, today's the day we're going to expose the government. Today's the day that all of us whistleblowers, we're going to come forward with all of this information about these secret programs. You know, there's a reason, folks. There's a reason for everything. They didn't manage to hide all of this information for decades just for it to slip out now. And we know how our government operates. If they want to knock you off and make sure no one hears from you, boy, oh boy, will they. We've seen it happen. So a lot of this information that's coming out, it seems as if it's coming out against the will of our government, but trust me, they know. I believe they gave the go-ahead for a lot of this stuff to get out there. So, like I said, the main question, before you even get into the deep details of everything, and like I said, it's an interesting topic. There's a lot of things to dive into, but first and foremost, the most important question, you might not think it is, but the most important question is, why are they releasing this information now? Because this tells me that something is coming. Something big. Something probably world-changing, life-altering. And I'm not saying that we're going to wake up tomorrow and something's going to happen. But this slow trickle release of information about UFOs, UAPs, and aliens and other life forms, it's leading up to something, some type of major event, probably within the next 10 years. This is not all just happening for no reason. It's not like, oh, we managed to keep this a secret since like the 30s, probably even longer than that. You know what I mean? We've managed to keep this a secret the whole time, but now today we're just, release the whistleblowers. Everyone go testify in front of Congress. Go tell them all of this. No, man. And that's what I'm worried about. That's what I'm worried about. I'm not really worried about the aliens. Listen, I already believed in aliens. All of the information they're talking about in the hearings, this is all stuff I already believed years before the hearings. I don't even need the hearings to confirm that some of this stuff is going on. But there's a reason, and I'll keep saying it. I want to hammer this into your heads. They're not releasing this info for nothing. So we need to find out why. Because that's the most immediate thing that's going to pose, I don't want to say a threat, but who knows? Maybe it is a threat. Maybe we do have to worry about something. But I think that's the most immediate question that we need answered. Forget about, oh, how did these things fly? What planet did they come from? Those are details I want to know, sure. But hey, why are you telling us about this now? Is something about to happen? Are you getting us prepared? Are you desensitizing people to something? Y'all got something up your sleeve. There's a reason. You're not just coming out with this for no reason. But hey, you let me know what you think the reason is down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.